Hello and welcome to Rev Sports. I'm Gargi Raut, and joining me for the show is Shomik Chakraborty and Bharat Ramraj. Bharat Ramraj joins us from the Center of Excellence. He will tell us how the match between Delhi, where Virat Kohli scored a 77, what all happened there, what was the mood like. He'll give us the lowdown. On the other hand, the golden duck for Rohit Sharma. He was trying to pull the ball but handed it right into the field. And Rishabh Pant as well, not many runs on the scoreboard for him, but again, uh, yeah, somewhat successful outing for Rishabh Pant. On the other hand, of course, we're going to be also talking about the Ashes, England's rise and then fall. Of course, at the beginning of the day, getting Australia all out for 152, it seemed like England were in the driver's seat, but obviously it all ended too soon. Right now, England is at 102 at the loss of 9 wickets. First, going over to Bharat. Bharat, tell us what it's like over there. Virat Kohli gets out at 77, almost, was nearing that 100, but tell us what it's like. How was he looking?
Yeah, first of all, there was again tight security. That is something that I would say. Outside, there's a lot of security, and they're not obviously they're not allowing anyone other than those dignitaries to come inside. So Virat Kohli played well, played really well against pace. He was beaten a few times by Arjun Nagaswala early on, but whenever a loose ball was on offer, he cracked the cut stroke. That is something very important to notice because Kohli is known for playing the cut stroke. He played the cut stroke. He was very good on the drive, lofted shots, and the ball was doing a little bit off the seam today. That is something interesting because it is an adjacent ground, the one that was there a couple of days ago. So it was doing a little bit for seamers and as well as for spinners. And once the spinners came on, it was that guy Vishal Jaiswal who kind of troubled Kohli, but he was still able to play a few more cut strokes than what we expect from Kohli against left arm spin. Eventually, tried to play one shot too many against spin and got out to that left arm spinner Jaiswal. So people will again tell he got out to left arm spin. But having said that, I think he looked better against spinners trying to play cut strokes. Yes, Rishabh Pant also played really well. Again, as I noted, the pitch is offering more help for the spinners. So it is not as if he was blasting out the spinners out on the ground. He had to take his time, showed good defense, and cracked a few shots against a few times. Played back before Jaiswal was the one who once again removed him by bowling one flatter to the through the air. So hopefully, from Delhi's point of view, they get a good score because I think this pitch is doing more. So Delhi must be feeling good about themselves, the situation that they're in.
Absolutely. Shomik, obviously, there's a lot of talk about the MCG wicket. Josh Tongue getting 5 wickets, in Australia being bundled out for 152, and now almost 100 odd runs for England, and they're already 9 wickets down. What do you think of this? Let's not talk about the entire Ashes, or we'll have to do a 1 hour show. But
Yeah,
let's talk about today's game. Yeah.
yeah. First of all, it's a poor pitch, Gargi, to start with, because when in India we produce rank turners and the ball starts turning from day one, the Western media goes gaga over it that it's a poor pitch, and here on a pitch when a bang average county bowler like Josh Tang is getting 5 wickets, and when 152 in Australia are all out on a pitch where Australia are all out for 152. England were always going to trouble. So England keep on talking about their talent and stuff like that. Josh Tongue is basically uh, Tushar Deshpande is a better bowler, and he is getting wickets. So it is a poor pitch. The first Test match at Perth ended inside 2 days, and it got a brilliant rating from the ICC. But this pitch, I think I would like to see what rating it gets because its batting on this pitch feels like a lottery. So this is not a proper test pitch that is to start with.
We'll go back to talking about the Ashes, but Rohit Juglan joins us from Jaipur. Rohit, the build-up for Rohit Sharma in this match has been great. There have been so many thousands of people showing up outside of the stadium, and have been showing up in huge numbers to get a glimpse of Rohit Sharma. But at this point, today was a disappointment because he a golden duck for Rohit, but tell us about what's going on there.
At this point of time, as you know, that the Mumbai innings is still, going on, and they are going good after that partnership between Sarfaraz Khan and Mushir Khan. Both the brothers have scored 55, individually, both of them. And it was a tricky situation at the very start because Rohit, as you rightly mentioned, that Rohit gone for a golden duck, and after that, soon after, you saw the Ankush Raghuvanshi is off stump for a cartwheel, and apart from that, there was no big partnership from the very start. If you talk about these particular batters, uh, means Ankush Raghuvanshi is rated really high as far as his IPL stint is also concerned. KKR is also thinking of promoting him at number 3 or maybe somewhere in that middle order role. So huge responsibility for him also, and then opening up with Rohit Sharma. So when the runs didn't came from the top, it was these two brothers, Sarfaraz Khan and Mushir Khan. They did a lot yesterday also in the practice nets. They were talking to each other, and yes, obviously as partners you talk to both the batters, the striker and the non-striker. But Sarfaraz, the elder one, was obviously during that partnership was almost there, always there, because at one point of time, I'm discussing this with Shamikda also a little earlier, that Mushir played a shot and he was very frustrated. As soon as he hit the shot, he knew that he's gonna be out now, and he was very frustrated. And he went ahead of the pitch, and suddenly umpires calls him back because it was a no ball. So after that, again he tried to swing his bat. He was middling it really well. Both the brothers were really middling it really well. But 55-55 for both of them. Now, what is important at this point of time is the way Hardik is playing at this moment. Hardik Tamore is the wicketkeeper batter is performing. Siddesh got a partnership. He scored 21 runs, and after that, it was between Shardul Thakur and Hardik Tamore. The partnership went up. Now, at this point of time, when I last checked, when I came out, just before that, it was Shams Mulani and uh, uh, Hardik was playing. And yes, Mumbai at this point of time, not really bad as far as conditions are concerned, but this Uttarakhand team is not bad. The bowlers, the fielding has been really good. They've been taking catches. They are really quick as far as the outfield is concerned, and their fielding is also really well. And as far as the atmosphere here, Gargi, nobody went out. Yes, there are people going in and out, having their food, then coming back, but there are still thousands. The RCA Association has to open 2 more stands. The 2 more stands are also open, but there are 2 stands. One, which I went there and sit there for at least for a couple of hours. There's no seat. And in between the Mumbai innings, there was one point of time when Rohit came outside. He sat in the dugout, and it was all buzzing, Rohit bhai, idhar aao. And then he went again. He went inside the dressing room. So there's a lot of buzz around his name. And there were each and everything, each shout, everything what they are saying, that Rohit bhai, every chair is for him. And I'm glad that they stayed for Sarfaraz and Mushir also. Because you and me, Gargi, we saw that as soon as Virat Kohli got out in the Ranji Trophy game, it was all empty. And I'm thinking of the really same thing, that same thing will happen here. Rohit Sharma, golden duck, let's go home now, nothing to do. But they stayed, and they are still watching, they are still cheering. There are loud cheer, beat anyone who's hitting, who's playing really well. Even for the Uttarakhand team also, if they're taking good catches, if they are fielding really well, this crowd is showing full support. As far as this Savai Mansingh Stadium is concerned, Gargi.
That's actually great to hear, because if we, yeah, Shamik, I'll come to you. Because if we talk, when we were talking about, Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli, Shubman Gill, Hardik Pandya, all these big names playing domestic leagues, every time, we think of one young player who always ends up stealing the spotlight. And that's what you want, right, from your domestic circuit, that apart from the big names that are already there, already capped, you want other players to also gain some advantage from that spotlight as well. Yes, Shamik.
No, I have a question for Rohit. Rohit, I want to know, how did Sarfraz bat? Because see, he is a very, very talented player, all said and done, especially in Indian conditions. And you know what he has been going through of late. Things are not quite falling in place for him. So he scored 55. I will come back to Rishabh Pant also. Rishabh Pant also scored a half century, and it is good for him because it's a very, very important tournament for Rishabh Pant, and a half century is a half century. But I want to know from you, how did Sarfraz bat?
So, Shamida, it's an interesting question because nowadays we see a lot of players, they secure their place first and then they don't play as per what the requirement is all about. He can also do that, play with a 70 or a 80 strike rate. He can also tell the ball is also doing a little bit. There were early wickets. They were almost 3 down at the very start. So he can also have these kind of excuses that, oh, I have to take care of the wicket also. I have to score runs also. And, I can't go gung-ho from the very start. But look at his strike rate. And it's not like that he started, challenging the bowlers after a later part of his. It's not like that. He started with a very positive note. The cut shot, one cover drive was mesmerizing. Means this whole Sawai Mansingh Stadium erupts when he scored that. The front foot. It was a typical textbook kind of cover drive from Sarfraz Khan, and the way he was sweeping, we all know that how good he is. And I know that when CSK put that punt on him, that we want Sarfraz Khan. I remember you texted in the group on that very day before that. I think when the auction happened, you mentioned this, that there could be a very strong chance that CSK will go for Sarfaraz Khan. And the way he's scoring those those cuts, those reverse, those paddles, and both kind of paddle sweeps, one the conventional kind and one which you can find the ball somewhere around the square leg area, and for one you have to look at look around the fine leg and the deep fine leg area. So the kind of batting he did, again scoring with a strike rate of 100 plus, gives you a complete, picture of his innings, that it wasn't about Sarfaraz Khan scoring for himself, because he know that at this point of time, if he scores 100, again the buzz will about that Sarfaraz Khan is now first in Syed Mushtaq Ali Trophy, Ranji Trophy. We all know that what kind of a record he had, and now in Vijay Hazare Trophy also. So the buzz could be there, but as we all know that he never played for himself. He never played, to secure his innings. I remember his innings in Canterbury also. He was in the batting order, he was mentioned somewhere at number 5. But as soon as the team management saw that there is this condition, this situation is tricky, let's promote Sarfaraz Khan, because he knew how to bat in these kind of conditions. He came at number 4 and he scored, I think, some 93, 94 runs. So
92.
the point is 92, I think, yeah. So the point is that the way he's batting here also, or wherever you see him, bat, it's always about team first. It's always about intent. It's always about going hard on the bowlers. It's always about playing his shots. I remember one scoop he played. You never see this especially in a 50 over format, when you want a partnership to go ahead. This kind of batting, I think, tells you that what kind of a mindset this guy, both of them. I'm a fan of both of Mushir and Sarfaraz, the way they bat, and not only in this format. If you see their Ranji Trophy, if you see the way their approach, and I know for a fact that when there is nothing going on, they'll be playing any kind of cricket in any part of the country. They'll be traveling somewhere around in Ghaziabad, in Gorakhpur, in Azamgarh, different parts of Mumbai, different parts of Madhya
But
Pradesh.
whole irony is that, Rohit, that he scored that 92 against in Canterbury against England Lions, and then he was unceremoniously dropped from the India A setup also. Over to you, Gargi.
That's
Yes.
not new, Samikda. You know it. That's not new.
Uh,
Up to
Bharat, I
aadat si
wanted to
hai.
go to you. Bharat, I wanted to go to you next now. On Rishabh Pant, 70 runs to his name, if I'm not wrong already.
65 or
How
He's dismissed now. He's out.
he's out. He's out. No, that scorecard was a little late, but 70 runs to
Yeah.
Rishabh Pant's name. How was he looking? White ball is somewhere we're all concerned when it comes to Rishabh Pant, but how has he been shaping up?
Yeah, it was a responsible innings. See, as I noted, this pitch is not so easy. It is not as easy as the one that we saw a couple of days ago. There's a little bit of help for the spinners. The odd ball is stopping. So considering that, he had to show some good defense, which he showed against spin. And he played the occasional back cut, late cuts, the occasional slog across the line, came down the track, hit Jaiswal, Vishal Jaiswal, that is, not SSV, for a 4 or a 6. So he played some shots, but in between he had to show some good defense. before he finally tried to play one across the line against Jaiswal and got out. But the problem for him is, I think, India's ODI cricket. If you look at ODI cricket, India kind of lineup they have, I don't think it is easy for him to get in. Shreyas Iyer comes back to full fitness, and then you have KL Rahul at five, and Shreyas Iyer obviously also in the setup. It's very difficult to get into that middle order with Hardik Pandya also coming into the equation. But having said that, if you look at it at a micro level, today played really well sensibly. That was good to see. It was not like he was trying to slog across the line every ball, because this pitch is definitely not as easy as the one that we saw a couple of days ago.
All right, talking about difficult pitches, Shomik, let's come back to MCG. There's a few questions here. First of all, Webber Taragi saying 95K attendance is recorded today on Boxing Day Test. Next level. Long live Test cricket. Always, Test cricket will always live on, no matter what. Freaking Awesome here is asking, this is a bit unusual for MCG wicket. Usually it has a spongy bounce, but not this quick. This wicket is quicker than usual. Still, it is a decent wicket to bat on. It's not like Perth.
See, Gargi, I mean, watching England and this pitch, we have already spoken about the pitch, and this is not a proper test pitch. And it should get a poor rating from the ICC, because I don't know how will it will play going ahead. But once again, we are looking at a 3-day finish. This game is not going to go to day 4. So, and when it happens in India, when it happens on when it's a ranked turner, everything is put under the scanner, and hope the same logic and the same principles would apply here also, because otherwise it would be hypocrisy. So that is to start with. Other than that, when I see England in this Ashes, I mean, there is a feeling of sadness. I mean, it's ironical that we are celebrating our 2-2 draw in England. I think we missed a big opportunity to beat England in England. Maybe if we had played Kuldeep Jadhav in 3 test matches, we would have won the series. This England team is. They talk about Jacob Bethel being the next big thing, the next best thing since sliced bread. The way they talk about Jacob Bethel, he is probably the next best thing since sliced bread. You saw how he got out at Oval. He was not only Harry Brooks shot, the way Jacob Bethel got out, that the so-called generational talent at the Oval, that led to England's downfall. And you saw here, he was struggling to put bat on ball. A first class average of 28, and Rohit was talking about let alone Sarfraz, he was talking about Mushir Khan, and I have watched Mushir Khan a lot. As far as domestic cricket is concerned, I would rate Mushir Khan as a batsman higher than Jacob Bethel. So they always overrate. They had so many young bottoms since the great man retired from Test cricket. They had so many young bottoms, starting with Chris Lewis. So this is how it is. This is how the Fleet Street is. That's the way it is.
Rohit will take a final comment and then we can close the show. Of course, your thoughts on day 1 of Boxing Day Test. It already looks like it's going to be another 2.5-day test for the Ashes series this time around. But Rupayan Guhan Yogi is asking, MCG 2024-25 was far better pitch, where Bumrah almost wins for us. Other bowlers could not support, and pathetic batting by all, especially aging senior. I think he's going back to the BGT.
So about 24-25, I think it was 2 things there. It was the drop catch by Yashasvi Jaiswal of Manas Labushin. I think that holds a very crucial point. And the second part is the way we lost. I think we have to score 170, 180 in 30 overs. And suddenly after the dismissal of Rishabh Pant, everything looked like that, we will never, achieve this target. So let's not talk about Melbourne 24-25, because Melbourne 24-25 is a very different wicket, and during that time, we remember that when we landed there, I don't know. I don't know about you, Gargi, because you landed, I think, a day or a 2 day later. But when we landed, it's very dry there. It's very dry. This time around, Melbourne, there was a lot of rain in Melbourne. If you see this time around, with the rain around and a 10 millimeter grass, I think. And after that, pitch curator is saying that I have developed the same wicket which I created last time around. I don't think it makes sense. When you put all of these together, I don't think it makes sense. But yes, Shamik, that was clearly absolutely correct there when he said that about the shots also, about the players also. It's not only about the pitch. Look at some of the shots. I was hearing to this Markwa comment when he said that whatever is happening, he's not liking it. But I think that the way you have to bring this into the discussion, that it's about technicality also. It's about the modern day batter technical aspect also, especially this scam kind of cricket which called as baseball. I think this will be the last of baseball. This will be done and dusted, buried either in Adelaide or in Melbourne or in Sydney. Because look, what baseball is. Baseball is a escape route where they can totally saying this to the world that we don't have anyone apart from Joe Root. If you talk about Joe Root, he is the only sound technical batter who can technically prove himself right. Apart from him, these all Jacob Bethels, the Harry Brooks, the Jack Crawleys and the Ben Ducketts, you name them, and that this is a escape route to save these guys and to wrap this baseball up and to provide in front of the world cricket that this is our kind of cricket, this is our kind of brand. But this is actually not what Test cricket is all about. If Test cricket is running in a particular manner from last 200 years, there will be a reason for it. It's not like that you come in 2-3 years and you change whole soul of Test cricket. So I think there's a lot to talk about. Yes, the pitch is not right. Yes, the conditions are not favorable. But is the batting of finest quality? You've seen the batting of finest quality? No. There have been some stupid dismissals also. So I don't think that you can completely blame it to the wicket, that it's a poor wicket. Yes, it's a bad wicket. But what about the batters?
That's a completely fair point. Yes, Shamik, before we close the show.
Gargi, I think if Rob Key, the director of England cricket, he wants a resurrection, the first phone call after this series should go to Ravi Shastri. Ravi Shastri, the first phone call he should make is to Ravi Shastri to replace Brendan McCallum. Because Ravi Bhai knows how to win in Australia. He has done it twice. It is not only about baseball, because England have been losing shares down under since 1986. So baseball, it is not just that baseball is the reason for their downfall. It's about the mentality. They don't have that, what in Bombay cricket we call that caduce. They don't have that. They don't have that to
Right.
to trump Australia in Australia. So from that point of view, Ravi Shastri knows if Rob Key is smart, the first phone call after this series should go to him.
They need a
And
Virat Kohli for it also, Shamik. They need someone like a
yeah,
Jasprit Bumrah,
No, no,
Mohammad Shami kind of. There are
no.
multiple layers to it.
See,
My only
Rohit,
point is,
Ben Stokes is a champ.
Ravi
Yeah,
Shastri single-handedly cannot do it.
no, I know, but Ben Stokes is a champion. I'm not undermining Ben Stokes. He has that steel. Ben Stokes is a champion, but he is surrounded by shrinking violets. Ben Stokes is surrounded by shrinking violets. If you look at this team, the strong characters are gone. Jimmy Anderson is no longer there. The strong characters are gone. So Ben Stokes is the only, he's the last man standing. So he needs someone. And Ravi Bhai is a brilliant man manager. Man management is brilliant. He will not stop the
That's
England
why
team
Stokes.
from
That's why Stokes said that we need mentally tough man in Australia.
exactly,
yeah.
and he will not put an embargo on these English players to go for a night out and have a booze. He will enjoy that. He will join them, maybe. He will join them.
Yeah.
But as far as cricket is concerned, his tactical acumen, brilliant. His man
Unmatched.
management is brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. If Rob Key is smart, the first phone call he should make is to Ravi Shastri. He is the man to take over.
And Ravi will
And
also
even
enjoy going
throughout
to
this,
Nusa, I think.
he
Yeah, of
definitely
course,
will.
of
Uh,
course.
but but throughout this Ashes, I have said that this Australia team is playing against one man, and that's Ben Stokes. But
Yes.
that brings us to the end of the show, and as we speak, England are all out for 110. So that's where the Ashes is set up at the moment. Not a good look for the England team. They need a whole resurrection. They need, inside out, everything needs to be changed at this point. But thank you so much, Shomik. Thank you, Rohit, for joining. We'll be back very soon. Boria will be back at 5 with his show, so don't forget to join us then. Thank you.